You're not gonna be like you guys, pretending to care. You guys don't care. All you're trying to do is not get in trouble. That's what the is wrong with your whole generation.
Okay, boomer.
Generation X.
I had such high hopes for this movie. I can't remember the last decent comedy that's come out of Hollywood. I was starting to think that the genre was dead or at least no longer allowed. But then I saw the trailer for the new Netflix movie Old Dads, and it was starring comedian Bill Burr. So I thought, oh, this is interesting. And I saw Rotten Tomatoes, and I was even more convinced that this movie was worth the watch. The critics hated it, the audience loved it. Yes, let's watch Burr take the piss out of some Southern California lefties for a couple of hours and call out the dreadful woke mind virus. Finally, a movie made for me, something I could identify with. Identify with. I can't believe I said that. Anyways, so as any good Gen Xer does, I loaded a bowl and I pushed play. And then cut to 2 hours later, as the credits rolled, I sat on my couch in silence, just staring at my TV, trying to process what I had just witnessed. Bill Burr, a once reliable, skeptical, cranky Gen X comedian with nostalgia for the world we grew up in, had lost the plot, and this movie was woke garbage. All I could see in every scene was blatant, toxic feminism and the societal decay that it has caused. Be warned, there are some spoilers ahead. Old Dads begins with promise, as Bill's character explains in the voiceover that he's always wanted to be a dad. It just took him 48 years to get there. The opening scene tells us that in midlife, he's now got a millennial wife and a young son who's just starting school, plus another baby on the way. We also find out that he's built a business with two best friends over the past couple of decades, and it was so successful, they were able to sell it for a ton of cash, but stay on as employees of the company that they founded. Why did Bill agree to sell the business he loved so much and put his heart and soul into for almost half his life? To pay for an overpriced private school for his son that his wife insists is the only way he can get a decent education. But as soon as Bill and his friends close the sale on their business, they find that their sports jersey company is now being run by a young soy boy who announces that they are pivoting to gender neutral, carbon neutral, I don't know, I don't care, and everyone in the business that was born before 1987 was going to be fired. At this point, I thought we were going to get a movie that actually addressed the unique problems that men face that rarely get mentioned, because if you do mention them, then you're lectured about the patriarchy and privilege or labeled as sexist and red pill or whatnot. So I was ready for the story to dive into these issues from the perspective of a Gen X man, call out the present day culture via comedy, and see what ideas Bill had to share as the director and writer of the movie. As the film progresses, we see Bill and his friends are just swallowed up by Southern California liberals, from the school their kids attend to their workplace. They are surveilled by their new employer, who eventually gets them fired because they dare to speak unapproved words and opinions. Bill is forced to publicly apologize in front of an entire school, both kids and parents, and he gets called out for having opinions as a white man. It was just one thing after another. And in the meantime, each one of the main male characters were either getting yelled at or assaulted by their wives or girlfriends. Bill's wife was threatening divorce and locked him out of his own house because he was angry. This is how serious you take your marriage and the importance of a father in your child's life? Never did that man do anything in that movie that called for threats of divorce. Still, I kept patiently waiting for this payoff, this moment that Bill would push back on all of this and give me the satisfaction I needed for putting up with all this crap for nearly 2 hours. Call out these insufferable women who are violent when they don't get their way, are insanely ungrateful for the amazing lives their husbands have provided them, and who make financial and parenting decisions based on BS propaganda. But it never happened. The payoff never came. This movie literally ends with Bill and his friends bending over and taking it up the rear and letting the women in their lives castrate them. Outside of the principal, not one woman in this movie has to take any responsibility or accountability. If this is what women have become, If this is how men view them, we are doomed as a society. If men think they have to accept their own toxic masculinity in order to see their kids and not lose half their money. When it was all said and done, Bill and his friends had to apologize to their women with a smile on their face and promise they wouldn't become older, angry men. It's all the men's fault. They are the problem. They must change. And the women? Well, the women, they're just perfect in every way. Oh, this movie. Wait, is that Pony Boy? Okay, I'm done. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.